as our friend has just said, this is a very complex topic to understand from your perspective. From our perspective, it's pretty straightforward and obvious. So the best way, like if you were to teach a child about something for a complex that they can't understand for university level, the best way sometimes is to use analogies so that at least you can grasp the concept of it, even if it's not the total truth, the only truth. So we would, if we can, use potentially two examples. If you think of yourself as one being, as you tend to think of yourself as one being, when you relate to, let's say, one of your parents, remember how you behave, how you are, right? Your perception and their perception of who you are. You then go to work, you behave in another way. You have a different personality, another aspect of you that will be expressed through the same body, but another version of you is expressed because you are interacting with a different environment, different people. You are co-creating a different reality. So that requires different parts of you to be expressed in that way. And so on and so forth. You meet different people in different situations. If without thinking about it, it's not something that you need to make it happen instinctively, because you are relating to another energy field, another being, not only a person, but nature, other things. You're co-creating that, and therefore there is a pool for the energetics. Okay, this part of this person's personality, let's say, we call it personality, but it's not that, but yeah, needs to come forward for their interaction, because that's what's required here. That's why they're interacting. There is a dance between these two bodies. And so our question to you is, how many versions of you are there? Is that all of you? The perceptions would be very different from these other people interacting with you. So is that finite? So if you carry on meeting new people, would new versions of you be created? So there are many ways of perceiving this. These are all expressions of the one that in different situations, in different levels, in different planets, in different dimensions, will be expressed in different ways. And they are just splinters, they're just fragments that kind of splinter off, as you see in those mandala kind of pictures where things, go from the microcosmos, they expand and fold into themselves, always creating more. So if you think of the creator energy, where you come from, where everything comes from, that's infinite, because that's all there is. There is nothing outside of it. So it's not a matter of creating more. It's a matter of expressing more in different ways. And the other way of maybe visualizing this is your cells in your body. Every single cell in your body has its own consciousness. Doesn't mean they have the same level of consciousness as you, but it's still a being, has a life. And within those, there are atoms, there are things that have their own consciousness. Now, every cell, a cell in your liver also becomes part of a collective of other liver cells, and they identify themselves as themselves, but also as the organism of the liver. Now, all those different organelles are within you. So again, when you ask, who am I? Which one is me? Which one is the cell? Well, you all subdivisions within one another. They are layers of the onion. So your perspective, if you are the perspective of the toenail, then you may think that you are just a toenail cell. But from a human being perspective, you understand that that's part of this bigger system, and so on and so forth. And you are part of many layers of oversouls that are in different planets, in different dimensions. It's not only about this planet. As it was said, there are billions and billions of planets. So a soul is not restricted to this incarnation. The soul is incarnating or expressing itself, maybe be better, be less restrictive, in many shapes and colors, in different ways, like the rainbow. So it is not defined, although in physicality, you have this perception of separation. But reality, your atoms are not ever touching each other. You're never separate. This is your sense of touch, due to magnetism, to repulsion of the electrons. But you are actually empty space interacting with one another energetically. But we understand that you don't like that word, but we mean in vibrational level, at the core blocks of existence, maybe that's a better word. And we'll stand back for others to step forward. Thank you.